I have a bunch of new products today that I just want to do a really pretty full face of makeup with today. That's kind of the video. Like half of them I tried before, half of them are going to be a first impression. They're brand new to me, but some of the ones I'm excited about are the new L'Oreal Skin Ink Foundation Concealer things. I also have the brand new Makeup by Mario cream eyeshadows, and I'm thinking of doing a wear test in this video too because I really want to see how these wear, but I'm super excited to test these today for the first time. I have the new Anastasia cream blushes, so I just want to play around with some new makeup, do a pretty full face, give you some first impressions, little reviews, and here we go. I did do my brows off camera like I normally do, but I've been using a new brow pencil these last couple weeks and I've really been liking it. It's from the brand Subtl. This is a new brand to me, but they sent me their brow pencil, but they're also known for like these little stacks that they have that's like a travel friendly makeup thing. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it, but like this is like their main product. But I fell in love with their brow pencil. I have the shade Taupe, and at first I thought it was gonna be too light for me, but honestly this kind of matches my natural brow hairs, my hair color perfectly without being too dark. And it's not one of those super thin brow pencils, it's a little bit thicker, but I've been kind of liking this more natural brow, so I have this on my brows and then just a clear brow gel, and I really like how my brows turned out today. Another newer skin product I've been using, but I think I'm actually really impressed with it, is the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. I believe this has been out for a year or so. I don't think it's brand new, and it's like this super liquidy product. You want to shake it up really well, and sometimes it does squirt out at me, so I got to be a little careful with it. But I've been using this just right before my makeup to add some more hydration to my skin because I've been feeling really dry recently. I also just shaved my face right before this video, so my skin is going to be extra smooth because I feel like I just needed that exfoliation with shaving my face. But anyways, I really like how hydrating this is. It's thicker than like a watery based product, but it's lighter than an oily product. It's kind of right in the middle, and like you can just see that glow that it adds, and it makes my skin just feel so hydrated again. I still haven't really tested it under a lot of products yet, but like on its own I do really like it. But today I am trying the new L'Oreal Skin Ink Foundation and Concealer. This was sent to me in PR. I have two shades, Neutral 15 and Neutral 20. I think 15 was closer for me because this one pulled a little too yellow. I did a little research on this product because I wanted to use it correctly. So it has a shaker in here, so you want to shake it up. And this claims to be a really lightweight product. I've seen claims it's supposed to feel like water on your skin. I don't know how I feel about this applicator. It feels like a concealer, you know? But it does say to kind of work in sections and work a little quickly, so this is my first time using it. But I just saw on TikTok the other day, I think it was L'Oreal, they did a big collaboration with some of the OG beauty influencers. They had Jaclyn Hill, Manny MUA, Desi, and Shayla, like some of the OGs. And they did some kind of like game show competition or something, but I'm pretty sure it was kind of focused around this product. And I just thought that was a fun marketing strategy. The way that they're claiming that this is like a 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, it kind of reminded me of the Pure Cosmetics. I think they called it a 4-in-1 foundation, wasn't it? Or was it still 2-in-1? But that one was pretty thick and full coverage, and this L'Oreal one does feel really lightweight. I don't think I like the application system because I like a liquid foundation where you can do a pump or two and you have more than enough for your full face, where I feel like I keep having to dip back in 3 to 4 times to apply this. Just takes a little bit longer, I guess. And then I've been using my favorite foundation brush. This is the BK Beauty 115. I think their anniversary sale is still going on right now, and I just did a whole video about like my favorite makeup brushes and the ones that I actually use every single time I do my makeup, so I'll link that down below for you. But in that video, I mentioned this brush so many times and how I think this is my favorite one from BK Beauty. I just think it's a great multitasker brush. I can do my foundation, any cream products with this, so like a lot of my base I can get done with this one brush. All right, L'Oreal, let me take a look here. It doesn't feel that full coverage to me. I expected it to cover a little bit more because I still feel like a lot of my just redness and picking spots are still poking through. I am interested to see how other products are gonna look on top of it, but I still feel like I need more coverage. Maybe I'll just try another layer, see if I can add more. I just feel like applying it this way takes forever. But let me, I don't know, kind of apply it more like a concealer now, I guess, where I feel like I need it. So I'm really gonna press it in to kind of just concentrate it where I want the coverage, instead of like really trying to spread it around. Oh no. I don't know if you can tell on camera. That does not look nice at all. Like I have a bit of a blemish kind of happening right here, but I hope you can see. It's just sitting on my skin in such a weird way. It could also be the Merit primer I use though underneath it, because again, that product is brand new to me. These are all brand new to me. So it's very possible these just aren't a good combo together, or the L'Oreal doesn't layer up very nicely. I'm just gonna grab my NARS concealer, which is what I normally use to add more coverage where I need it, on my Sigma AB1 brush. I'm going over the same spots again. This might be a bad choice. I'm using my fluffier brush like this because, again, I feel like I have a lot of spots I need to cover up. The shade is a little bit light for me. That's what bronzer is for, right? Let me blend more with my foundation brush. I really didn't think that my base makeup was gonna be such a hassle today. Okay, the NARS concealer definitely added the coverage that I wanted and needed in those spots. But so far, I'm not loving how that L'Oreal just laid on my skin. Hopefully, things will layer okay on top of it. For some cream bronzer, I'm gonna grab an old favorite and a product I've really been working on because I would love to finish this up. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium. And I'm applying quite a bit of this because I feel like my face, it definitely needs the color. Normally I use the BK Beauty 116 for my cream products, but because I really have to scrape at the edges of this product, I've been using the 109 so I can like swirl the tip of the bristles in it to actually get to the product. I might need to like repress this or something so it'll be easier to finish up, I don't know. But this brush is also gonna work perfect with the blush that I'm using today because of the size and shape of the product. I really love this cream bronzer for summer. It has a nice kind of balmy texture to it, so it's not too pigmented, but it definitely has enough pigment and just looks really, really natural on the skin. Super easy to blend out. I mean, clearly I love it. I'm also gonna add some bronzer to my nose too. I apply that cream bronzer all over, and now I'm gonna go back to my foundation brush and I just kind of soften around the edges of the bronzer right before I go in with my cream blush. Now, for cream blush, I got the new Anastasia cream blush trios a few weeks ago. I have tried these a few times and they are very, very pigmented. There's 3 different colorways. This is the pink trio, and then this is the peach trio, and then this is the berry rose trio, and honestly this one intimidates me so much. I just don't really wear shades like this, so I probably won't keep this one in my collection. I'll probably just add it to my giveaway pile right now. These two I've been using and liking. I kind of want to mix my 2 favorite shades, this one from the peach palette and then this more neutral one from the pink palette. A little bit of both maybe. When I first saw these launch, they immediately reminded me of the Ben Nye cream compacts that I used to use so many years ago when I was first getting into makeup and almost like costume style makeup. But I definitely love the idea of having 3 shades in one. You can kind of customize your look a little bit. Also for makeup artists, this is perfect. My only complaint with this type of product is that you do need a certain size brush. So that's why I grabbed that BK Beauty 109 because it kind of does fit perfectly into the little compact here. I'm going to take a bit of this neutral shade. I'm going to start this shade on the apple of my cheek. See, isn't that such a pretty, just like soft everyday color? And these are really buildable too. So you can definitely do a soft wash if you want to, kind of like what I'm doing now, but then you can just build and layer it up if you do want a really blushy look, which I do like to go for sometimes. Now I'm gonna start to bring up this blush a little bit higher, pretty much on my cheekbone right now. I am gonna do an eye look with those Mario shadows, but it's gonna be a pretty like simple eye look. So I'm gonna go a little heavier on the blush, cause I can. Now I'm gonna go into the peach trio and grab a little bit of this shade, and I'm gonna place that a little farther back on my cheeks, almost kind of where I would contour, just to add some depth to my blush look. I keep finding myself doing this and I'm like, it's a cream product, I don't need to tap off my brush. Then I'm still gonna blend my blush upwards a little bit into my temple. I like a lot of blush. I just think these are so pretty to play with though, and how you really can customize your blush look with 3 shades in one. I think the finish is really pretty too. I do have quite a bit of glow going on right now, and I think that's from the Merit Instant Glow Serum probably. But the finish of this by itself does lean a little bit more matte, but I kind of like it with this glowy base. Like it just looks very soft and natural. I went ahead and just did my under eye concealer and I set my face off camera just because I have nothing too exciting to use for that, but I want to see if I can add even more blush on top of my set face now, because normally I would use a powder blush on top, and I'm like, wait, I kind of want to see how this works, especially because this has more of a matte finish. I think it should look okay on top of powder. Please don't ruin my makeup. Okay, wait, I think that actually looks good. It's not like breaking anything up underneath it. It's not looking cakey. A little bit more over here. That actually looks really nice because it has that blurred matte finish, but again, because it's a cream, it has like a tiny bit of a sheen to it. That looks really good. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of a powder bronzer. I've really been liking the new Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Blurring Bronzer. I know I just use a skin enhancer, but I like both of these bronzers from Mario, honestly. It's kind of fun to see now how a lot of the new blushes and bronzers have more of a matte finish to them, and how just matte overall is kind of making a comeback. I totally just noticed by like looking at the name. Like, this is a matte bronzer. The Anastasia cream blush has a matte finish to it. It's definitely more of like a soft matte blurred finish though, that it just seems like it's becoming more and more popular. Let's dive into these new cream shadows by Makeup by Mario. They're supposed to be really easy to work with, so we will see, because typically I'm not a cream shadow lover. I normally find them a little bit harder to work with than like your typical like shadow, but I'm always open to trying new things, and I love the neutral colors. They sent me 5 shades. I want to say there's maybe like 10 shades total, but they're all just beautiful neutrals. I pulled it up on Sephora because I really want to use this the right way and how Mario recommends to use it. So they say it's a weightless, easy to use cream shadow that delivers a soft diffused matte finish. Again, here we are with the matte finishes. They're a medium to full coverage formula. Apply effortlessly with your fingertips or a brush. All right, here we go. They can be worn alone, layered for a sculpted look, or as a base underneath eyeshadow. Because that was my question. Do I need an eyeshadow primer underneath these? And I kind of think the answer is no, that they can be worn on their own and like shouldn't crease and shouldn't move, transfer, and be easy to work with. So we will test that today, because I feel like with cream shadows, either you know right away if it's good or if it's bad. We'll see if it's dry, if it's flaky, if it creases. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong with the cream shadow so quickly. So that's also why I want to do a bit of a wear test today, just to see how these look even after a few hours. Let's zoom in on an eyeball. So I have nothing on my eye right now. I'm just gonna take my brush that I used with my concealer, so there might be a little bit left over on this brush, just to add, I don't know, a little bit of coverage, but nothing too crazy and nothing too heavy. But I'm not gonna use my typical Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna try these cream shadows alone. I think I just want to do a simple look today and try one shade pretty much all over the lid and see how it blends out. So I think I'm going to use this brown shade Sienna. It looked like a really popular shade online. Here is what it looks like. You have the applicator on the cap here. I'm honestly just going to go straight for this and kind of do like a light layer, I guess. Kind of like that. And let me try my fingertip at first, just to kind of distribute this a little bit more on my lid before I blend with the brush. Okay, so far, not bad. I'm just slowly bringing the shade a little bit higher towards my crease, and it's still looking really nice and pigmented on my lid. Like, that looks good and opaque. Taking a clean blending brush, this is my Sigma AB2 brush, my fluffy blending one, and I'm just gonna start to blend out these edges, and let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm really happy with how this looks on my eyelid. It does look nice and smooth and matte. It's not caking up at all. And I'd say the blend is looking decent. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's kind of like right in the middle for me right now. I'm kind of wondering what it would look like if I take a slightly lighter shade and use this as like a transition shade in my crease. So this is Chestnut. I don't know if it's much lighter than Sienna, but let me just try that in the crease. Going straight to my fluffy brush. Just blending in little circular motions. Okay, that actually blends out really, really nicely. What I'm always worried about with cream eyeshadows is that sometimes they can stick where you first place down that pigment, and that really didn't happen at all with this. Again, this is literally my first time using this product, but I would agree that it is easy to use, but we really have to see how it wears. Like, that's the true test. I'm gonna see if I can take some chestnut under my eye here. I'm gonna do like 4 dots, I guess. And then I'm taking my small blending brush from my Sigma brush set and blending down here. Okay, wait, that actually looks really good. This honestly might be like the easiest brown smoky eye I've ever done. Wow. I think it looks nice and smooth and blended. I'm not seeing any harsh lines or any product like building up on itself. I am definitely impressed so far. I'm gonna keep this eye look super easy and stop here. I'm going to apply some mascara, and I've been trying out the new Kosas Soulgazer mascara, and I've really been liking this mascara. It definitely gives my lashes more of a fluttery look to them. And what I've learned with this mascara is that it almost works better if you start on the tip of your lashes, kind of build those up, and then work towards the roots of your lashes to really thicken it up. This mascara is also infused with a lash primer serum inside, so supposedly the more you use this mascara, the more it's supposed to help just like strengthen your natural lashes. Here's what the eye looks like with just mascara on. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of a nude liner to my waterline just to make it pop, and I feel like I don't even need fake lashes for this look. I really like just how easy, soft, and natural this is. Both eyes are done, and first impression, I'm pretty impressed with these shadows. I'm excited to see how they wear, but pigmentation, blendability, just how opaque and matte they look, I could definitely see myself using these. Both eyes are done, and I'm genuinely so impressed with these cream shadows. Giving you the time really quick because I will do a wear test, but it's currently 3:37. There's no cakiness, no creasing yet, but we will see. And I agree, I think they're really easy to work with, and they were very, very easy to blend, and like, I think they're gonna stay in place. I do want to add a little highlight to my eyes though. I am just feeling very flat and matte overall because I've used a lot of matte products today, but I'm just gonna go into my palette with Sigma, grab my favorite highlight shade, Bright. Taking this on my AB6 brush, it's my perfect little small detail brush. There we go. I highlight my eyes most of the time when I do my shadow, but especially with an all matte eye look like this, it just looks really good to have this little pop. This adds a little bit of life to the look, but the overall look is still, you know, soft and matte. For my lips, I already popped on a little bit of liner. This is the Jones Road lip liner in the shade Nudist. This is one of my favorite just everyday lip liners. But Lancome just sent me one of their new lip products. It's the Juicy Treat. What is this called? There's so many words on the box. Juicy Oil Gloss, whatever. Anyways, they sent me a few shades of this, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I did try this one last night when I was just like prepping for this video, and I thought this shade was the perfect My Lips But Better color. Like, look at how close this is to my natural lip color. Again, I did just put on this lip liner, but like, this is close to my natural color, so I wanna do this again. Beautiful packaging, kind of reminds me of the Fenty Gloss Bomb packaging, but like, just beautiful shape here. What I liked about this is that it looks like it could be pretty dark and intense, but it's actually pretty sheer. Like, look at that. It's a lot sheer than you think, but I love a lip product like this, so here we go. Tell me this is not my actual lip color in a tube. I don't think I said the shade. The shade is 40 all the tea. The shape of this applicator is really comfy though. I love a comfy applicator that has like a curved tip to it, and the base of it definitely does. So when you're touching your lip, like, it is curved and just feels really good when you're putting it on. Definitely feels and looks very hydrating on the lips. I am just so into this juicy lip look right now. Just a lip liner and a juicy gloss, then I'm good. That's all I need. But I think this is really pretty, and I like that it's not too thick. All right, so that is the full face of makeup done. Ooh, should I spray my face? I'm really just staying home and editing the rest of the day, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add my One Size Powder Melt Setting Spray. Not that I need my makeup to be locked in, but I just love the finish that this gives to my skin. So like I said, I do want to do a bit of a wear test today, although it's clearly not going to be a long one because it's 3:45 in the afternoon, but honestly, I just suck at doing long wear tests on my channel. But the main part of this wear test is really just for the Mario shadows. I really want to see if these are going to fade throughout the day, if they're going to crease at all, and especially because I'm not really doing anything the rest of the day, like, they should stay in place, right? And then I guess it'll be kind of fun to see too how the blush holds up, and then also the L'Oreal Skin Ink, but I'm mostly here for the Mario shadows. I will check back in later. Okay, I made it to 8:38 at night, so this is going to be my one and only check-in. Base-wise, I feel like everything is looking pretty good. My blush is still there. My foundation definitely has held up, and I think throughout the day, that L'Oreal, whatever this is called, the Skin Ink, it did actually kind of sink into my skin nicely throughout the day. It doesn't have that weird patchiness that it had at first when I very first applied it, but I really wanted to look at the shadows, so let's zoom in together. I have not touched anything up. So if I'm just looking straight at you, I feel like it looks really good. It's still nice and pigmented, like the shadow is still wrapped around my entire eye. But if I get up close and personal, I am having just the tiniest bit of creasing, and honestly, it's not that bad. I kind of want to see what would happen if I just take a finger and like tap this out a little bit, because sometimes it'll just kind of tap away. I don't know, that actually looked like it took off the product instead of like getting rid of the crease. It's not the worst creasing and fading I've ever had with the cream shadow, but it's definitely something to note. But again, this was my very first time using it, so I'm definitely gonna play around with some different methods of applying the cream shadow. Like maybe I do need to prime my eyes, maybe I will lay down a little bit of powder before I use these just to make sure there's like no oil on my eyelids at all. So I'll definitely keep trying these and try out a couple different ways to see if I can get them to work and not crease throughout the day. Not too bad, but that only was about 4 hours of a wear test. So like even after 8 hours, it might be worse than what this was. That is going to wrap up this video. I had so much fun at creating this look and just playing with some new makeup. I'm excited to keep using a lot of these products. If you want to check any of them out, they'll be linked down below for you or in the YouTube shopping. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.